expression as he tried to walk, but in the 12 years he served as president, they never wrote about or filmed his discomfort. Of the 35,000 still pictures in the Roosevelt Presidential Library, only 2 show him in a wheelchair, both taken by a cousin he trusted and not published in his lifetime. Clues to his disability can be found here at his home in New York. As a child, Franklin watched an ant burn to death in an accident involving an oil lamp. Now he installed a hand-pulley elevator at Hyde Park, a way of escaping the second floor in the event of a fire. He carried that fear with him into the presidency.
He was terrified at the idea that in the White House he might be in his bedroom alone, and there would be a fire, and he couldn't get out. And even though everyone told him he'd hardly ever be alone, he never wanted his bedroom door locked, and he used to practice this incredible thing where he would drop from his bed onto the floor, and then practice crawling to the door in case he had to get out in case of a fire.
It was a problem going to the bathroom, because when he could get out of the chair into the wheelchair and so forth, right from the Oval Office, FDR's valet brought him along.
Alright.
Making do.
There's one more step.
Without being totally aware of their infirmity. The intense security surrounding the president
Putting them on bars.
meant that even at the end of his life,
This jig has 3 different holes for depending on what size tubes you're using. I usually use the middle one. Now there is a peg that goes in here, so once you put your bar on, you can lock it in place. I don't use it. I just line it up with that hole.
Secret Service raised the level of the street that the church was on, so that Roosevelt could drive up in his limo and get out on a level with his fellow
Now,
walkers enter the church.
we put the needle underneath the bar, make sure it's right here. I have one finger, and this needle is bad. You're not going to be able to see, but there's one little needle that's sticking up farther than the others. That's not good. See, even after 12 years, you can make a mistake. You just got to be careful. But I put one finger there, one finger here to hold the bar. Put a little solder flux right on top. There. Don't move it too quick. I had extra on there.
Have you noticed how easily your basic monthly expenses can get out of hand? Between your regular bills and entertainment, you're probably spending hundreds of dollars every month. Well, I'm here to tell you about an affordable alternative for television service.
Now, you don't want excess on there. That's why you see me take the excess off. It can ride in the tube and make the needle bounce. You also, when you're coming down, like on the ones that I tighten, you don't want a big lip of solder there. What'll end up happening is, as it's going up and down inside the tube, it'll splatter the ink, and that's not a good thing. Solder the 2 of them together. Make sure they're dry before you pull it out. Bingo. Now, from here, they have to be cleaned. First, we have to put them in baking soda to neutralize the acid. Then we clean them, make sure we get all that baking soda off of there. Then we bag them and then sterilize them. I'm not going to go into sterilizing. That's something that you should have covered underneath your apprenticeship. I will say that if you're not going to go the route of the apprenticeship, there's a book by Huck Spalding called Tattooing A to Z. At the very least, read that book. It goes through a lot of the stuff for tattooing, making needles, sterilizing. It's not the end-all to be-all, but at least do that before you go trying to fuck up your buddies. Alright? The very least, read that. It's not a substitute for an apprenticeship, but it will keep you from making a bunch of mistakes and fucking people up. At least more than they have to be. Alright. If there's any questions, hit me up. I will try to answer them for you. I know this video wasn't for everybody, but I've had enough questions asked that I figured I should explain what I'm doing in a little more detail than when I'm usually back here rambling. Between me rambling and watching what I'm doing and this video telling you what I'm doing, you should figure it out. Do not get upset that you fuck some up. Like I said, I bet you I fucked up 1,000 needles before I got it right. It doesn't sound like it's that hard, but man, there's a lot of little tricks that you will learn along the way that you just can't explain. You know, you've got to experience it. So, don't get upset. Keep going. This will save you enough money to do a lot more on the same amount of money. Like, granted, you're going to have to sit here for an hour or so a week, but I'm sure you've got an hour during your week to be able to save money. Like I said, it's a lost art. Like I said, when the Board of Health lady came in, she asked about who I bought my needles from, and I said, I don't, I make my own, and the woman about fell out, you know. As I said, out of 40 shops in my area, 2 of us make our own needles. 2. So 38 either don't know how or are too lazy. They're convinced that they're saving money by buying them pre-made, so they don't have to buy the jig. I've had this jig 6-7 years. It's paid for itself. God, fucking 100 times over it's paid for itself. But you can't convince some people. They don't know how to do it, so they will convince themselves that they're doing the right thing. Some can't handle the truth. The truth! You can't handle the truth! Peace.